Your Excellency Doreen, present, good evening. All right, pleasant good evening to everyone in the class this evening. And you are very welcome to being here. It's good to see you, Amy. Amy, welcome. Welcome back. It's been quite a while. And it's very good to see you, ma'am. Doreen, you're with us this evening, Doreen? Okay. Can everybody hear me? Am I being heard okay? Okay. Doreen, are you present this evening? Can you hear me? Okay. All right, I'm going to jump straight into this evening's session, just so that we can kind of put everything together. This evening's session is about opposites. We're going to be talking this evening about opposites. And it's very important, as a matter of fact, I chose it because of bless you, Amy, bless you. I chose it because we want to focus on some dynamics that are going to be quite critical as we go forward. And this evening's dynamic is all about opposites. And I want to ask a question. What is the opposite of helper? Amy, what's the opposite of helper? What do you say the opposite of helper is? The opposite of helper.
Receiver.
Helper, receiver. Helper, receiver. I have something else in my mind, but I'm going to leave you with that before I say what is in my mind. Doreen, what's the opposite of helper? Oh, I have struck you.
Yes, Your Excellency. I'm still thinking.
Okay, let me get back to you.
Olukoya, I'll come back. Give me some.
Okay, Olukoya, what's the opposite of helper? What's the opposite of helper? Your Excellency Olukoya, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Your Excellency.
What's the opposite of helper?
The opposite of helper.
Yes.
An indifferent person.
Opposite of helper is indifferent person. All right, I'll get back to you. I see you guys are thinking. Your Excellency, all yours. What's the opposite of helper?
A helper, helpmate. The opposite of a helper is the boss. the manager, the director,
Hmm.
the person who is in charge. You have the boss and you have the helpers.
The
So I
opposite
would
of
put
the
it.
helper is all of that. Okay.
The
You're
boss.
thinking. You're thinking. That's all right. It's okay. It's not a competition for who got it right. It's just I want to get what you're thinking. Bella, my dear, it's good to see you. What is the opposite of helper to you, Bella? What's the opposite of helper? And I'm going somewhere with this because it's very important.
Thank you, my bishop. Good evening.
Good evening. What is the opposite of helper?
Destroyer.
That's a good point. A helper. A destroyer. Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Is that your someone shouting destroy? That wasn't your nice soft voice, Bella? Bella, what is your nice soft voice saying? What's the opposite of helper?
That's what I think it's. If someone is not there to help, is there to destroy you.
Okay, thank you. I
Yeah.
know. It's okay. I am going to put a twist to it. I'm going to put a twist to it. And the twist that I want to put is helper, helped. The opposite of the helper would be the person on the other side of the fence, the one being helped. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? Because if you have a helper, then the helper is doing something. But the one he's doing it to is the opposite of him. Are you with me? Now is a twist with the English language with my intelligent abilities that I've decided to do. Most of you will say the opposite of a helper is a destroyer. But I think the opposite of a helper is the helped, because the helped is on the other side of the helper's doing. Amy, you're saying something with me. Come on, Amy.
It's the person who's on the receiving end.
Say again.
The person on the receiving end.
But of course, the person on the opposite side.
Yes.
So if I want to, if I say what is the opposite of man, you might say animal. But for me, I might think the opposite of man is woman. You know, you need man and you need the opposite to make it work. So the opposite of helper in this discussion that I want to share with you this evening is helped. You have a helper and you have the helped. I want you to, I've shared a message on this particular point a while back as well, but I really want to share it again from a different angle, a different perspective, because a lot of individuals hear me say a particular thing, but I clearly know that it needs more developing. It needs more meat on it for you to grasp what I'm trying to convey. As a matter of fact, I want to thank you, Amy, for the lovely photos of what you were doing in is that Congo? Is that what you were doing in where were you doing? Where were you?
Kenya.
Kenya. I have some lovely photos that Amy shared with me while I was minding her business of what she was doing in Kenya. And I felt really pleased. I said, oh, that's so nice. What she was doing in Kenya is she was helping. That's correct, yes? You were helping. And you were on the opposite side of the fence while you were in Kenya. You were the giver, others were what? The receivers. I want to challenge you at a different level this evening. I want to challenge you, because what I'm going to say might have its contradictions. You know, somebody might say the opposite of a helper is a destroyer. That's not really, that's true, but the destroyer is the person that has already caused the help to be in the position they're in. Are you with me? The destroyer caused the person who is in need of help to be in that position. So the person on the opposite side of the fence would have to be the one that is doing what? Healing, delivering, setting free, or giving that person what they need. What are you? Are you a helper, or are you one looking for help? I want to ask you a question. Look at the blueprint of your life. Are you a helper, or are you one seeking to be helped? Write it. Write it. Am I a helper, or am I seeking to be helped? The reason why I want you to take this note today is because a number of you have already been credentialed and appointed as ambassadors. I want to ask you a question. Do you see your role as an ambassador as a helper, or do you see your role as an ambassador as it makes it easier for you to be helped? Do you see yourself as a helper, or better equipped to get help? Am I talking to us? How are you going to walk through the next decade? Helping or equipped to get help? I want you to think about it. Think seriously about it. And the reason why I want you to think seriously about it is this. If you decide that today you're going to be a tree, you're going to decide today, I'm going to be a tree. There are two types of tree we're planting. We're planting helper trees or needy trees. We're going to plant helping trees or needy trees. Which one are you? Which one do you want to plant for the next 10 years? Do you want to remain being a helper tree? Or do you want to remain being a tree trying to get help? Am I challenging you? Wave at me if I'm challenging your thinking. Wave at me. Come on, just give me if I'm challenging your thinking. Your thinking. Because everything begins with your thinking. Everything. The way that you approach life is going to be based on how you see yourself. I have a very unfortunate problem, challenge, or disposition. Nobody knows when I am needy. Nobody. No. I have so perfected who I am as a giver that even when I myself am needy, nobody's none the wiser. Because my tree is a giving tree. My life's focus is on giving, helping, empowering others, equipping others. That's my life journey. What is yours? I make things happen. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I make things happen. When I have a need, I make things to fill my need. I make things happen. My mind is always focused on how can I help? How can I assist? How can I support? How can I make you better? In the class of Steele, I'll show you what I'm trying to convey. I don't help myself to you in the class of Steele. I'm helping you in the class of Steele. I mentor if you pay your fees or if you don't. If you are a paid member or if you're a free member, I still help you. I still give to you. I still make you equipped. I still empower you. I do it with or without your support. I do it with or without your encouragement. Are you hearing what I'm trying to convey? But my question to you is, are you a helper or are you positioning yourself to be helped? Then I'll ask you a question. Are you a giver or a receiver? Are you a giver or a receiver? Let me explain what I mean by a giver or a receiver. When you get on the bus and you pay your bus fare on the bus, are you doing the bus driver a favor? Are you doing the bus driver a favor when you pay your bus fare? Are you doing him a favor? No. You are doing yourself a favor by being able to get to your destination, because that's what is put in place for you to get to your destination. You pay your way. But when you get out of the bus and you feel really good and you say to the bus driver, hey driver, please buy yourself a meal when you go home, please. I want you to, you're such a good driver. When Christmas comes around and you get on the bus and he's your regular bus driver and you walk on the bus with a gift. In Barbados, I haven't done it in the UK. As a matter of fact, I think I've done it in the UK. But in Barbados, every Christmas, we normally have gifts waiting for our garbage men. You know, the men that come around and collect the garbage. My wife and myself and my mom and our community. Hey, our garbage men are the most blessed men on Christmas time. Why? Because everybody has a drink. Everybody has a bag, a gift to take to the garbage man, to give him a gift. Because he has come around throughout the year and collect our garbage. It's his job. He gets paid. But we just appreciate him. We do what? We give him a gift of appreciation. So there's a difference between paying your dues and being a giver. Are you with me? You're not a giver when you pay your bills. That doesn't make you a giver. You're not a giver when you do what you're supposed to do. That doesn't make you a giver. You are a giver when you do something that you didn't have to do anyway. That's what defines you as a giver. I think Amy's expression of going into the villages and feeding individuals in the village, that's a giver. Because Those individuals in the village might not be in a position to give anything to you, Amy. They're not able to repay you. They're not able to give back to you. But I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you. Look at your life, and I want you to acknowledge for yourself. This is not about me. This is about you as an individual. Acknowledge what you pay for that is supposed to be paid for, and what you give as a giver. Because being an ambassador, I expect that you are a giver. I expect that communities are going to be better served because you are going to do what? Give to them. You're going to give your time. You're going to give your advice. You're going to give your counsel. You're going to give your support. You're going to give. You're going to be a giver to your country. You're going to give your country an opportunity to have an individual who thinks different than just taking or what you can get. How can you help your country? How could you help your citizens? Too many people want accolades to help themselves. That's why I'm very select with who I align myself and associate with intimately. I am very, very select. I don't associate with everyone. There are a lot of people who say, oh, Dr. Steele is my friend. Please, oh, how well do you know me? How often have I spoken to you on the phone? Do I call you? Do you call me? How can you be my friend? Are we in communication? Do I know how you are faring? Do I know how you are doing and your family? Am I aware of what's going on with you? Don't call yourself my friend if I don't know what's going on with you. I know what's going on with my friends. Are you hearing me? Come on, somebody. Come on. Do you give or do you take? I have some very bad habits, and as you are in my class and I'm your mentor, I'm going to share my bad habits with you. How many of you know mentors don't share their bad habits? Everybody likes to share their good habits. But I don't mind. I'll tell you some of my bad habits. Very bad habits. As a matter of fact, they're habits that get me in a lot of trouble with people who care about me. And I'll tell you what one of those habits is. When I am going through a difficult time, I get scarce. Nobody sees me. Nobody hears me. I'll say it again. I have a very bad habit. When I'm going through a very difficult time or a challenging time, be it financially, be it emotionally, be it health-wise, be it family crisis, when I'm going through a difficult time, nobody knows. As a matter of fact, sometimes when I share photos of what I've been through, persons will say, are you joking? Hey, and you didn't call me. How could you not call me? Because chances are if I call you, you will start to give me your stories and your problems and your difficulties like anybody else. So why am I going to call you for? To add to my already troubles and my already burdens. Are you getting what I am saying? I'm talking to you. Are you a giver or a taker? My friends are givers. All of my friends are givers. What do I mean by all of my friends? I mean those people who hear me every day, those people who know me, and those people who I know. They are givers just like me. We will die being givers because there's a reason why I'm sharing this message this evening. We will die being givers because we are just the same thing. We have planted a tree, and the tree is either or. Either you are a giving tree or you're a taker tree. There's nothing else about you. There's nothing else. Oh, Dr. Steele, you need to stop being so benevolent and stop being so giving and stop thinking about people. Are you joking? And then what do? Die? Come on, somebody. So when I stop thinking about individuals and I stop giving and I stop caring and I stop sharing and I stop helping others, then what do? Die? I'm a giving tree. That's all I know how to do. Are you hearing me? But I have learned something. 98% of the people that I mentor are takers. It's unfortunate. 98% of the people I mentor globally are takers. I will not say to anyone if you fit into the 2% or not. You figure that out for yourself. But 98% of the people that I mentor are takers. Why is it? Because a lot of them have been givers that have equally become frustrated and have started to become takers. Because how many of you know you get tired when you're a giver and everybody keeps taking, and eventually you decide, you know what, I'm going to start taking as well. Wave at me if you know what I'm saying. But I want to tell you the truth. You will die a sad and sudden death because it's not you. You'll be frustrated. You'll be unhappy. You'll be overwhelmed. I'm not cursing you. That's not what I'm doing. I'm your mentor and I'm talking to you. If you are a giver and you turn selfish because of what you see, it is like a tree that bears fruit and it decides, you know what? Every time that I start to see blossoms, I'm just going to drop the blossoms and I'm not going to allow any fruit to bear because I'm sick of people coming and taking fruit. How many of you get what I'm saying? Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, if we want to play a Christian role in our conversation this evening, for God so loved the world that he gave. The mark of a righteous man for me, the mark of a righteous man is a giver. For me, is a man that does not seek his own glory, his own pleasure, but he seeks to find out, how can I make others great? A lot of people are going to try to duplicate the class of Steele because they think that I am making myself great by doing the class of Steele. That's not true. Greatness follows individuals who do certain things. Are you with me? Greatness follows you when you do things. But if you pursue greatness, it will elude you. Greatness is not something you can pursue. Greatness is something you become as a result of your pursuit. Did you hear what I say? You should write that. Greatness is not something you acquire by pursuing it. Greatness is something that catches up with you as a result of your what? Your pursuits in life. I am pursuing peace and helping others. Oh, he is a great peacemaker. I am pursuing helping others to be successful in their villages, to have water and to have food, like Amy wants to feed those in the villages, and that's what she does. That's our pursuit. So every time we show up at the village and we are there, everybody comes. Dr. Steele is coming. Her Excellency Amy is coming. Oh, they are so great. Why? We are not great because we were trying to be great. We are great because we met a need and we become what? Respected and honored as a result of the need that we met. Are you with me? Olukoya, you're our youth director. I want to tell you something, Olukoya. The youth in the class of Steele, for me, are sponsored by us. I believe that the youth are the generation to come. And if we don't invest in them when they can't afford to invest in themselves, what hope are we giving to them when they cannot engage opportunities that are going to equip them to be better? Are you hearing me? The role that we are looking at for our youth is how can we invest in our youth? Doreen is our COO. Doreen, I don't expect that you're looking for people to come to the class of Steele to be paying membership because we want to build our membership. Doreen, I hope that's not your vision. I hope your vision is the people that you see and you look at them and you recognize what can the class of Steele do for this individual to make them more equipped to do what they want to do. But equally, I hope there are individuals that are saying, what can I give to the class of Steele to make it a better place? Are you hearing me? Y'all see my Facebook. I want to ask you a question. Do you think that it is difficult for me to start a membership drive for members on social media and LinkedIn and solicit people to come and join the class of Steele? Have any of you ever seen me doing that? Have any of you ever seen any posts with me begging or soliciting members? No. This is about recommendation. This is about people that you know, that you see have value that they can add to the class of Steele, but you also see how you can help them through the class of Steele to be better. Amy, I want to ask you a question, Amy. Unmute yourself, please. Have you received your credential as an ambassador already, Your Excellency?
Yes, I have.
I want to ask you honestly, I want to talk to you because I want others to understand why I do what I do. Have your credentials boost first your own personal morale? Personal. Have it boosted your personal morale? Have it done that?
It definitely has.
How do you feel since you have received your credentials? How do you feel as a person first, Amy? Your accomplishment, how do you feel? That's what I want to hear from you. How do you feel?
It's a huge milestone. I feel happy. I feel more energetic that I'm able to reach out more. And there's that need that I really feel like there's a gap I have to fill.
And you feel really, really equipped to do it. You feel like you feel different than the average citizen. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yes, correct.
And it really, you see, I'm doing this for a very important reason, Amy. Please, and I'm picking on you for an important reason because I want individuals to understand my heart. And you will not understand my heart if you don't get a testimony of what I am doing and somebody that is a recipient of what I've done. You're with me? Let me ask you another question. Has it boosted you in the presence of others? Do others see you differently now than they saw you before?
Yes, they do. And it makes them feel like, wow, what is this space that you are in? I want to be part and parcel of this. But before I do that, I have to vet them. Are they worthy to be in this space or not? What have you done in the community that I can say, yes, I think you would be mentored well by Dr. Steele?
But I just want to, I want to know, and the key thing is, I really want individuals to understand this. You feel more equipped to do what you are doing already. You feel better equipped to do what you're already doing. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the persons that are involved in what you're doing see you now as more equipped to do it.
Yes.
So it is serving you well.
Absolutely. Yes, it is.
I want to ask you a question. You're a Christian, you're a born again Christian, correct?
Yes.
Your salvation. What does your salvation do for you? What does being a Christian do for you? What does it do for you?
It makes me think, what would Jesus do? And just knowing that I have to reach out to other people. And the best way is to serve, be a servant, as Jesus would have and was.
Amy, thank you so very much for being in class this evening and for your contribution. It has been very, very noteworthy. And I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your honesty. Here is something that I want to share with you. The reason why I do the class of Steele is because His Excellency Dr. Philip Finn, His Excellency Dr. Philip Finn has given me an opportunity as an ambassador to recognize the power there is in being able to cause others to reach their full potential. Are you with me? When you cause others to reach their full potential, you sit back. And it is a satisfaction that it only can come from God. It's not about money. It's not about what you could do for me. I don't equip you in the class of Steele for what you can do for me. The class of Steele is equipping you for what are you already doing for the world, and how can we make you better suited to do it. Jesus held a discussion with some lepers, and they were sick, and he healed 9 of them or 10 of them, and 1 came back. and what was the first thing when the 1 came back? Jesus said, were they not 10? Where are the others? They're no longer around. Can I tell you why they're no longer around? Because most people don't know how to give back. That's why I said 90% of individuals are takers. How many tree of lives were there in the garden? How many? This is a secret you should write down. How many tree of lives were there in the garden? How many? There was only 1. Amy, you are a person that I want to tell you something. You are a giver, and you are going to have a lot of takers come around you just to take. Don't be surprised. Don't be offended. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't be disappointed. I'll say it again. Are you ready? You should write these words down. Don't be surprised. Write that one word down. Don't be offended. Don't be what? Overwhelmed. Why? Because when a tree shows you that in the garden it's a taken tree, you should thank God that you had the opportunity to pass along and give. Because if you are a giver, that's expected of you. I do not mentor selfish people. I don't. I don't even sit down and look at individuals that would say you did this for that person, so don't do this for somebody else because they will do the same to you. It really does not matter. Doreen, you're going to find individuals in the class of Steele and in the organizations that you and I are responsible for that are takers. There are extremely focused on taking. Nothing else. Nothing else. That's all that's their nature. They're takers. And if you do not want to give, Doreen, I promise you, you'll be frustrated in their presence. And I promise you, no matter of coaxing or counseling or discussion is going to convert them into givers. You can't. The only thing you pray is that God will deliver you from such persons, because they will take and take and take, and you will be dying on the ground, and they will still be begging for you to give. How many of you get what I'm saying? Is it a Nigerian thing? Nope. Is it a British thing? Nope. Is it an American thing? Nope. Is it an African thing? Nope. What is it? It is an individual thing. That's it. There are some Nigerians that you will see them and you will see them like this. Tick, 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 tick. And you will say, oh, they can do that because they are rich. No. They can do that because they are givers. They are rich because they do that. Have you heard what I just said? Have you heard what I just said? They are rich because that's what they do. Olukoya, do you know any givers that are so wealthy you think they are crazy in Nigeria? I cannot believe you are in Nigeria and you don't know some of these crazy folks like me. Do you know any of them?
Yes, Your Excellency.
And every time you see them, they're always doing what? Olukoya, I want to ask.
They're always giving and they're always happy.
Why, Olukoya? Why do you think they do this? Please tell me why you think they do it, Olukoya.
Well, most people that I see as givers, they derive joy and satisfaction from giving. And each time they give, just making somebody happy is enough satisfaction for a giver.
Olukoya, I want to tell you some things.
Yes.
I want to tell you some things.
Yes, Your Excellency.
My wife is a giver. My wife. And I am a giver. We don't get into trouble. We get so excited. My son Joshua is 6 years old and he's a giver. When I go into town, I always make sure I have money that I give to Joshua. And anybody that we see sitting on the ground, I say to Joshua, go and give this to uncle. Go and give this to uncle. Or go and give this to auntie. Olukoya, I'm an extremely wealthy man, beyond measure. Extremely wealthy, Olukoya. I tell you, look at me. I am one of the wealthiest men you will ever see on planet Earth if you've ever seen one. I'm not talking about currency, Olukoya. Currency does not make you wealthy. Character makes you wealthy. Character. Are you hearing me? If you are a giver, my brother, it does not matter how much you have. You always see somebody that you can give something to. If you are a giver, you look for people to give to. You look for them, you seek them out. If you are a giver, when you don't have anything to give, you are one of all people most miserable. Are you hearing me? The reason why a giver is very scarce when he or she has nothing is because they are of all people most miserable. And the minute they get something, what is the first thing they are doing? Why? Because their joy is full in being what? A giver. Olukoya, have all of the givers you've seen been extremely wealthy in currency with all of their bills paid, food in their house all the time? Are all of the givers you've met financially secured in everywhere, Olukoya?
It's subjective, Your Excellency, because there are some other things that they may want to have sorted out, but it doesn't really matter to them as long as they've done, taking care of somebody. They're excited because they don't always put themselves first. They always think of others all the time.
Olukoya, you said it. You said it. We are desperate for others to think about us without us even telling them. Because we are so focused on putting others first that our wives see us. And some of them say, I've had enough of this foolishness. Our husbands see us. Why are you so giving? You're giving and you don't even have. You just went into the larder and the last bit of food you see we have in our cupboard, you are giving it to someone. How are we going to get our own food? Are you hearing what I'm saying? This is the plight of a giver.
Very correct, Your.
Thank you, Olukoya. I've acknowledged. Thank you. What am I trying to ask you? Are you in life for what you could get out of it? Or are you on the earth for what can you give back to the earth? Why are you in the class of Steele? Oh, I'm here to see what I could get. Or are you here to see what you can give for those who you hear have need? Or are you here to hear about the person that is not well and is going through surgery very soon? Her Excellency Jenny Trehane is going to surgery on the 19th. That's why you've not been seeing her. She's battling, and I've been closely connected, and her and I are believing God that on the 19th, when she goes for surgery, all will be well. So I hope that you will keep Her Excellency Jenny Trehane in your prayers. You might not have seen her, but you don't know what's going on. Are you concerned about the person in the class of Steele that is there? Are you interested? Are you worried? Or are you just here for what you can get? Are you a part of the family? Or are you just coming and going? Jesus had 12 disciples, 12 single disciples. I want to tell you something very important. The world needs you. Reverend Paul, the world needs you more than ever. Olukoya, Daniel, Donald Ewers, Adeola, Alex, Lucy, Bella, Amy, Bishop Comfort, Doreen, all of you, the world needs you. The world needs you for what it can get from you. I'm going to say it again. The world needs you because of what the world can get from you. Please understand what I'm saying to you. I don't care if you're a Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, atheist. The world needs you because of what it can get from you. Are you going to be in the world and be just like the rest of the world? What you can get from the rest of the world? Or are you going to be in the world and look and see, what can I give to the world? What can I give to the people of Barbados? What can I give to the people of Ghana, of Uganda? What can I do for Amy to equip Amy? Who can I connect to Amy that she will have more food to give to more people? She's already given food. Who can I connect her to that is going to say, I have food to give? Who can I connect to Reverend Daniel that is going to say, I have students that need to be in university, and who can I connect to you? Who can I connect to you? Because you have something to do what? Give. If all you're going to be doing is coming to see what you could take, you're going to be very disappointed. You're going to leave real fast. As soon as you get what you think you came for, you're going to leave. That's what a lot of people do. A lot of folks come, they get what they want, and they do what? They leave. Why? Because they're takers. That's what takers do. Don't be offended when a taker shows his true colors. Don't be offended. Just thank God and guard yourself, and make sure you don't do the same thing that person did with others in your circle. Make sure you look and see, how can I add value to this person, to this organization, to this country? How can I add value? I have some high-level meetings. If I tell some of you the meetings with folks that I have, some of you will open your mouth and be so shocked. But can I tell you the truth? Please understand this. 90% of the world is filled with takers. Are you a taker? Are you in it for what you can get out of it and take only? Or are you in it for what you can give back? Some of you are going to Dubai. Why are you going to Dubai? Are you going to Dubai to give solutions to problems that the world have? To offer suggestions, to solve problems? Do you get what I'm saying? When you treat your life as an answer to a problem, currency will run behind you. Opportunities will run after you. I need to see a man. Who is the man? The man that is a giver, because I have something to give, but I can't give to everyone. So I need someone to help me to do what? Give. Amy, I'm going to go to you now, Amy. Amy, Amy, you're a very powerful person in the class of Steele. I want you to know that. Amy, are there not people all over the world desperate for people to give money and resources and currency to? Are there not people all over the world looking for people who are interested in helping the nations? Am I not correct in saying that that is true, Amy?
Yes, you're very correct, Your Excellency.
And when they see individuals that go into the villages, feeding the poor, helping those that are less fortunate, helping those that are underprivileged, Amy, are those individuals not individuals that do everything in their power to try to help them?
Absolutely.
Can I tell you guys something? Are you ready for this? My Zoom account is only allowed 1 gig. 1 gig. 1 gig. Zoom has been so kind to us. I refuse to go with any other platform than Zoom. I refuse. Zoom has been so kind to us. Not a conversation, not a meeting. My Zoom account has 100 and something gigs, and I'm only allowed 1 gig. I'm not boasting. I'm not bragging. People see what you're doing. People see that you're trying to help others. People see that what you're doing is honorable. People see what you're doing is noble. You are the 5% of the population of the earth if you are a giver. I don't want to appoint selfish people as ambassadors to the United Nations. I want to appoint people that want to make everybody powerful just like them, to give everybody the opportunity to be an ambassador so that they can help others to make it. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's not about being selfish. If you are a giver, help will come to you. If you are a taker, even that which you have will be taken from you. If you are a taker, even that which you have will be taken from you. Because you're just going to meet similar people just like you. And what will they do to you? Take from you. But if you are a giver, along your journey, you will meet 1 or 2 givers that will make your life worthwhile. 1 or 2. Doesn't take much to make us happy. Doreen makes me so happy. Olukoya makes me so happy. Bella, His Excellency Donald Ewers, Bishop Comfort, and Adiola, Reverend Daniel, Amy, you all make me so happy that I have persons to give to. And guess what? If it was only Doreen alone, I would stream it live on YouTube and give it to the world. Why? Because I'm a giver. I'm Dr. Michael Steele, your mentor, your friend, and your host. And I hope that this evening's message challenges you. I'm going to pick it up on Wednesday again because there's so much meat on what I've shared with you. I want to talk to you about ideas and resources. I want to talk to you about man with idea needs the man with resources to build a city. I want to talk to you about the fact God, the creator, needed the earth. The opposites. There's always some need for you. And this is the key for you to receive. I'm going to give you this key and hold on to it. If I can get it through you, I promise you, there is no power on the earth, in the heavens, under the earth that can stop me from getting it to you. I'll say it again. If I can get it through you, passing through you, if you are a conduit for resources, a conduit for helping the poor, a conduit for building the nations, a conduit for repairing the breach, a conduit for visiting those in prison, a conduit for solving problems that those are difficult for others to solve. If you can be a conduit and I can get it through you, I promise you, I will get the resources to make it happen to you. If you have any questions, you're free to ask any questions. I have concluded my class for this evening. It's 8 minutes past 10 and I'm proud of myself. Are there any questions or any comments? Please don't leave me comfortless. Help me. Any questions or comments? Olukoya, you are first. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My wife is here, and I'm sure she's listening. You know, initially I thought probably I was doing the wrong thing because I've been like, you know, you can't just be giving, and you're not thinking about yourself. You have children. You have you're supposed to plan for your future, but it's just that it's difficult to take off one's eyes. I don't know if it's going to be a question, but I've been encouraged this evening. By the grace of God, my wife and I, we yearly, you know, feed children. So we just decided that it's very good we register an NGO. And the name, there is a name, is it Helping Hand? My wife is here. I think she will need to help me. I've forgotten the name again. It's actually registered in her name. You know?
Is it already registered?
Yes, Your Excellency.
It's already registered.
Yes, Blissful Hands. Blissful Hands.
Okay.
Yeah, and I discovered that we tried to do it in some churches, but you know, sometimes they'll just keep it aside, and people are trying to probably corner it so that they can take it home. And we'll come and say, no, it should be shared to children. It should be shared to children and things like that. So I want to thank you, Your Excellency, for what you have shared today. And when you gave the statistics that over about 90% of people are takers, it now makes a lot of sense to me, you know, that for those of us that we are givers, it's not because we have all the currency in the world. As a matter of fact, some people came and said, by now you should have a mansion, you know, without the kind of money that have passed through your hands, and say all kinds of very discouraging words. But I now understand that it's because they are not givers, so they may not understand the kind of passion and heart that one has, that you know you are giving. It doesn't mean you're a reckless person, but it means that this is just who you are. And, you know, giving and taking care, like what Amy is doing, is just who we are. It's not something that one is faking. And honestly, I'm deeply encouraged by this class tonight. And I know after this class, my wife and I were still going to talk a lot more. Yes, my wife is a giver, and she tries to help me, you know, that we don't stop giving. We continue to help and we continue to give. So thank you very much, Your Excellency. I'm really, really encouraged. and really blessed by what you have shared tonight. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I want to share something with you, Olukoya, and this is you personally, but it's public. I want to share something with you. You had a little mark over the eye in your passport photo, remember? You remember?
Yes, Your Excellency.
And this little mark over the eye of your passport photo hindered you from getting a visa to Dubai. You know that?
Yes, Your Excellency.
But your passport photo was also with a red background. You remember?
Yes, Your Excellency.
It needed to be white for Dubai. Yes?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Her Excellency Doreen and myself, without even troubling you or without you even being aware, I had to make sure I put in place getting your visa sorted. I had to edit your photo and take out the red background and make sure that it has a white background. And I had to do all of that and get it to the person that was waiting on the other end of the phone for it. Why did I do that for you? I did it for you because you have a heart. And it gave me so much pleasure that you did not know how much trouble Her Excellency Doreen and myself went through for you. You do not know how much trouble we went through for you. You don't know. But we went through that trouble because why? When you are a giver, God takes pleasure. God takes pleasure in doing things for you. He takes pleasure. He takes pleasure. It doesn't offend him. He doesn't grumble. He doesn't complain. He doesn't feel like, oh, what am I doing? Olukoya, I'll tell you the truth. Please hear me. If you were a taker, Her Excellency Doreen would never have my permission to assist you other than tell you, I'm sorry, you need to change your passport photo. I'm sorry, you need to get this done by yourself. That's what would have happened. But the reason why we support individuals is because individuals do what? Support us. That's what I want you to see. Forget what anybody thinks about you. Keep giving until you are going to keep giving, and God will keep giving to you, that you have some for your own house, that you have to feed your children. You will never lack the ability to feed your children. God will always give you more than you need. And I also want to tell you this, and to everyone that is listening, do not micromanage your giving. And what do I mean by that? A man stopped me when I gave this gentleman that was on the street. He wanted to pay for his room for a night. And he told me the cost, and I gave him all the money, my wife and myself, to book a hotel room for the night. And after we gave the man the money, a man called me one side down the road while I was walking past with my wife. And he said, please, sir, can I tell you something? He said, what? He said, that man stays there and begs every day. And he always begging. And everybody gives him money. You should not have given him so much money. Well, first thing in my mind's eye, first thing was, sir, how dare you mind my business with what I give? Who are you? That's the first thing in my mind. Who are you to tell me how much money I should give and not give to somebody? That's the first thing in my mind. Second thing in my mind, can I be honest with you? I do not give to man. I give to God. I give to the fact that I am a tree. Do you think when an apple bears a lot of apples and the apples drop to the ground, Can you imagine somebody coming to the apple tree and saying, "You stupid apple tree, why are you dropping all of these apples on the ground and they are rotting? Are you a stupid tree?" The apple tree will say, "No, no, 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 no. The rottenness is going to nourish the roots of my tree. The ones that are getting rotted are going to knowledge, and they are going to be there to cause my tree roots to have fruit that is going to be healthy." Are you with me? Don't ever micromanage your giving. Don't ever charge anybody foolishly. "What have you done with the money I have given to you?" I don't care. You give unto God. You give because you are a giver. Are you with me? When you turn on your pipe, do you think your pipe water is going to come and if it sees you're pouring the water on the garden, it's going to say, "Please, I'm sorry, you're not getting water. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you water. This water is only for cup and bowl. If you don't put the water in a bowl, you're not getting any water." Have your pipe ever complained? Come on, somebody, I'm talking to you. I want you to get practical with me. If you are a tree that is a fruitful tree, ye shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters. Doing what? Bringing forth fruit in your season. Whatsoever you do, it shall what? Prosper. If you give to someone that is going to go and do whatever they feel like, when they see you, they are going to thank God you passed by. Is that not in your favor? I don't want to belabor. Please forgive me for going into Wednesday message. Do you have a comment, Bella? Bella, please, do you have comment for us? Contribute to the class. Give something to those who are listening, please.
Yes, my bishop. Thank you so much for today. I'm so blessed for the topic, and it's so challenging. Actually, for me, during this lockdown, when the lockdown started, this is the time I started noticing about giving, about this world that we are in. Because most of people here in Uganda, they shared, you can see organizations, maybe musicians doing those things. But I was shocked and I was hurt to see that not even one church like this stand up to give during lockdown. And I was like, these people, they always tell us, give to God, give to God, give to God, and we always give to God. And everyone now is in a lockdown. We are all in problems. Not even a single church like this said, let's go and help these people. They didn't do that. They were all complaining, "Oh, they want to open churches. We are starving, what?" And you wonder, seriously, if you call yourself a man of God, if you call yourself a woman of God, and the whole world is in problems, you can't even help a single person like this. And you're waiting for them to give you. So I was like, so now churches are takers also. And you see people who they call like those people they call that they don't know God, those they want to preach. Now, how are you going to preach someone without bearing a fruit, for sure? So this, I wish maybe you can be a president one day and they give you maybe America, so everyone would hear from you, because for us, we are few.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll tell you. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I thank God, and then I thank God for this class. You have done a lot of work in me, a lot. And there is one thing I like when you say this class is for 100 years. Oh my God, I feel like it's something I'm going to do for the lifetime, and my children will do it, and my grandchildren will do it. So I like it when you say, we are going to be in this class for 100 years. I feel like I can just give you a hug and say, yes, collect, you're right. Because that's something, it shows that we are not here for a period of time that we are going to live and do it, but we are going to get something And what we are getting from here, we give it to others. Those we are giving, our children, our grandchildren, and those who are around us. So they are going to benefit from us, because we are not takers that are going to always take. We have to take and share and give and what, everything. So, and sometimes back I got an idea, because my passion is to help women mostly. Because when a woman is helped, the whole family is helped. Thank you, Ami. When the woman is helped, a whole family is helped. So when I got that idea of helping women, I started thinking, why start with social media things? But when I started praying about it, what can I do? How can I start? So Holy Spirit led me to start with those I know. Tell them, because some people, they only need, what can I do? How can I do it? Some people, they don't have an idea of how to do something. So that's how I started, and I'm doing it by every day, and I thank God now I have women I'm helping. I have women who calls me mom. I'm so grateful, at least that in my life, I'm helping someone. I'm helping a woman to be a better woman, that better woman who will become a better family, and that better family to be a better future kids and future president and future leaders to come. So thank you so much, my bishop. And I'm sorry, I feel better when I call you my bishop. It's not that I don't see those titles you have, but it works for me very well when I say my bishop. I hope it's okay with you. And thank you so much, everyone, for tonight.
I call you my little sister, and you have great titles, but I call you my little sister. Come on, let's celebrate our sister. Come on, let's celebrate her. I want to tell you, my son and my wife, they went for a walk. That's why she's not on today. They went for a walk, and my son just bought me. He just walked in and held it like this, and he bought me a little flower. A little flower for daddy. And I want to tell y'all something. Look, all of you are so special. Heal yourself. I spoke about the rebirth. Heal yourself. Forget about those that took from you that you felt overwhelmed. Forget about them. Forget about them. Forget. There's some debts that some of you need to cancel. Some of you need to cancel some debts and lighten your burden. Cancel some debts. Some of you need to forgive some people that have wronged you. You are a giver. If you are truly a giver, you will be taken advantage of. You will be abused. You will. You will have friends that are going to ask you, why do you suffer this way? You suffer this way because you don't know any other way to suffer. It's just who you are. People say you're always crying. You cry so easily. When you know why I cry easy? Because I'll tell you why I cry so easy. Because I know kids that they were nobody. They were in my junior church, and now they're sitting in government. They're sitting in parliament. They're in the high places. They're multimillionaires. My wife and I last night was looking through some photos at some persons that were close to us, and they're so successful and they're so amazing. Can I tell you? I did not even realize that I was one of the key person that was responsible for causing Barbados, my island, in becoming a city of peace. I was responsible for that. The 84th chapter. Barbados is a designated city of peace, and I'm responsible. I'm one of the persons. And when I say I'm one of the persons, I'm talking about I'm one of the persons that is signed on the dotted line of the organization that appoints cities as cities of peace. It was me. All of you are so powerful. And you're going to do great things. But I want you to start focusing on being givers. Stop being takers. One of the reasons why I don't preach on the principle of giving and taking from the beginning is because I don't want people to think I'm begging them for anything. Me begging you to honor me as your mentor does not make you a giver. It makes me a beggar. Did you get what I just said? You being a giver is choosing to give. A giver chooses to give. A beggar that gets what he begs for is nothing more than what? A beggar. But a person who receives something that was freely given to them is a blessed person. If you are a giver and people freely give to you, it does what? Shows that you are blessed. Are you with me? I want to challenge you. Look at your own life. Not just in the class of Steele. I don't care about just the class of Steele. I care about the hours that you are out there in your world. How do people see you? How do you see yourself? Are you a giver or a taker? Let me ask somebody else to lend their voice. Doreen, lend your voice to the discussion, please, Doreen.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Michael Steele, all the excellencies in the house, all our guests. My take on that topic is more, for me, it's more about the 90% of the receivers. Almost half of my life has been, not half, a third of it has been receiving, people from the family receiving, people from the community receiving, and hardly getting back receiving. So I reached a point, actually it's just now, during these last 2 years, I observed myself, I assessed myself, I said everything that I have, or everything I have had to work hard for it and give. I don't see anywhere where I have received. Many people have been taking from me. And you know, the takers keep taking and they don't stop. They don't stop. And if you've been, you know, when you're so used to giving, you don't realize that you're being taken advantage of. I have helped many people. I've taken them to school, and some of them have not even gone to school. They have failed over and over again, and I have said, no, you will continue. You will go back to school and complete and be useful. Like the way Bella says, she helps women. My heart goes to so many women because I want women to be independent. I want them to be, I want them to feel good about themselves, not being able to depend on anybody. It feels good when you have money. It feels good when you wake up and you're able to buy yourself things that maybe your parents could not buy for you or your husband. So I always encourage young women, and even all women of all ages, I encourage them to be independent. But the most disappointing thing for me is even when I offer my patience, and I say, okay, I know you have not, okay, this year you have failed, tomorrow I give you a chance and I give you another chance. Givers never give up. It's terrible. They never give up. They keep hoping for the best of a person or whatever they are doing. So for me, my take is how you get overwhelmed by the receivers. How do you deal with that over the years as years unfold? This is how I have decided to do. I always give everyone a fresh opportunity. I don't bring the past into the present. I forget the past and I say this is a new individual and this person deserves a second chance. So I love again. Forgivers give us love, really. They love whatever they are doing. They love when they stand with somebody. So they will always accommodate whatever surrounds the particular person. Even when they have nothing, they have faith that they will be able to get what to give. And you end up suffering at the end of, okay, you suffer, but then you enjoy the suffering because this is you, who you are. So for me, it's difficult to depend on anybody. It's very difficult. I cannot put my trust in anybody. I put trust in myself and with my God. And so if I get somebody who gives me, I say, is this person okay? So I am so grateful to see somebody give me just out of place. And I'm always, what can I say? What's the right word? I don't believe it. I get so surprised and I'm like, is it for real? Is this giving attached to something? So rarely do I find people who give me without expecting anything from me. So when I find people give me and generously give me, I'm like, God, do these people exist? I have found my match. So I'm like, okay. I feel comfortable. I begin to feel comfortable and I feel happy. Someone doesn't expect anything from me, and so he's going to be giving me. Wow. But such people are so rare, just as our Excellency said. They are so rare. I have found in all my years of existence, if there are many, there have only been 2. In all my years of existence, only 2. And some have passed on. So I pray for you that you come across more givers, people who will be there for you, because when they give you, you're like God is down, he's watching over you, he's taking care of you, you're like, I didn't deserve this, but it came to my doorstep, it came to me. So it's a good experience to be given and not expect anything back. And it's also good for those who receive to make use of what they receive. It makes the giver proud of giving. So that's my take, Your Excellency. Thank you very much for listening to me.
I want to appreciate you, Your Excellency, for your contribution and your submission, because that's why you are the COO of the class of Steele, because you're just like me. And if I die, then it means that you are going to do exactly what I have been doing, the same way you and First Lady Jimmy. I want to say something to you ladies, that His Excellency Dr. Hillary Ima and myself, we have a ladies event that is coming up in Dubai in August. For those who are not able to do this trip to Dubai with us, we're going to have a ladies event, especially just for the ladies. That's going to be in Dubai in August. And I will give you information about that so that you are aware. So ladies who want to do better, be better, connect with ladies and strengthen yourself, I want you to get ready for August. And we will have, there is an event that we will make you guys aware of. And Dr. Hillary is going to come and we'll share some more information about it with the ladies. But it's going to be extremely powerful. There are going to be some very powerful people from all around the world, just like this event that we're doing in Dubai. And it's just going to be ladies. I will not be there. I will be releasing First Lady to be there by herself without me, and so that she can have a great time and with the ladies. So just be aware of that. That will be coming up in August for the ladies. But that's just because all of you ladies were talking about how much you love each other and want to help each other. And I thought, okay, let me tell you what we're doing for you. I see a hand up from His Excellency Daniel Sapuru. Your Excellency Daniel, go ahead. Talk to us in the class.
Yeah, thank you, my bishop, Your Excellency, and all the excellencies in the house. I want to do a little contribution, or how do I put it? Yeah, let me just call it a contribution. In this part of the world, you find out that if your giving is not currency, many people don't see you as a giver. And yeah, they don't see you as a giver. And sometimes it is very difficult to come across currency to be able to give. Maybe you have some areas of giving. Like for instance, I have an NGO known as Hill Cross Ministry that was registered in Nigeria since 2014. And we focus on the less privileged people, and we also do discipleship. And you find out that it was during the lockdown that we gave some people some palliatives. That is when some people started seeing us as givers because we gave them some food during that period. But when the food did not come, they didn't see us as givers. Even though some few people see us as givers because we give them some currencies. So what I'm trying to say is I want to thank you very much for tonight's lecture, tonight's teaching. When you say that it is not necessarily currency that makes you a giver, but your character, it gives me some food for thought, and I really thank God for that. And we are praying that the Lord will make us givers. I know that when I assess myself and assess my wife is more of a giver than myself. In fact, my wife can give the last, we call it kobo in Nigeria, the last kobo, the last naira that she has when she sees somebody suffering or somebody who needs it. And she does it. Even today, she did it for somebody who, a student who finished exam since last week, a student in Unijos who finished the exam since last week, but didn't have money to go to meet his parents. So my wife met him and gave him 3,000 naira that will be enough for his transport. And believe me, that was the last currency we have in the house. But my wife sacrificed that. So what I'm trying to say is that in Nigeria, to be precise, people don't see you as a giver, except money, currency comes out of you. So, but we thank God for tonight's lecture. I will be more of a giver than a taker by His grace. I know that God is there and He will help me to be a giver. So thank you, I want to say thank you for what you have done tonight. I will prefer being a giving tree, the tree that gives, than the tree that needs to be given. So thank you very much. And I thank God for what you have done. I want to thank God for everybody who is in this class. And I want to believe that all of us have taken in this lesson, and all of us will be givers, not necessarily only takers. Thank you very much, and good night from us here in Nigeria. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Your Excellency. I want to say something to you, and I hope that the Lord's grace will visit you. But you are what you are, or who you are, and you just I think there are a lot of persons that are trying, they give, but they're not givers. And when you give, but you're not a giver, you get weary. You get weary, you get angry, you get frustrated, you get overwhelmed, and you stop. But when you give because it's who you are, you even beat yourself for being yourself because you just can't help it. So it's all about being who you are and identifying who you are. And if you need to change some of your characteristics or your attributes toward being a giver or leaning in that direction, then I think that would be advantageous to do. I want to ask Lucy. I see Reverend Lucy. Do you have any comment this evening, Reverend Lucy? I always see where you give a acknowledgement. Could you kindly share your comment and give to the class this evening?
Good evening, Your Excellency, and the entire members of the House of the class of Steele. I like to appreciate this opportunity and to also thank you for the teaching today. That reminds me of my son when he was in high school. He just resumed school not too long. The provision, everything we bought for him. One day, their school was visiting an orphanage home, and this boy gathered everything he had and then sent it and gave it to the orphans at the orphanage home when his school visited. And we were at home not knowing what was going on because he was in the boarding school. Suddenly that day, we just felt we should visit him, but we couldn't understand why we should visit. And anyway, we drove to the school, myself and my husband. On getting to the school, they called him, we greeted, and on our way, he just scratched his head and said, please, I don't have provision again. I said, what? You just left home. How come you don't have provision again? He said, we visited the orphanage home and that was all I had to give to the orphans. Right there, we are so excited. We are so happy that for his age, he could do such a thing. And then we understood why we went to visit him. I think the Spirit of God moved us to go there because the young man saw into somebody's future. And suddenly we were able to give one of the workers some money, help us buy provision for him. And he got more than what he gave to the orphans. I think that's what God does. God is a giver and he expects us to give. When we give, he has a way of setting up people that you don't expect. He has a way of setting it up for you to come back to you. And I so much believe in giving. Giving is part of me. Giving is part of me. If you remove giving from my life, I think you have removed something terrible. And I love giving. I love giving. It's part of me. No matter what, no matter how little, I love to give. Because I believe that giving is God's nature. And He created us in His own image, in His likeness. We are supposed to have the nature of God in us. We started a school in Jos, and we felt we should also impact our community. We brought in children that have been affected by the insurgents, that were at home by the situation in town. They couldn't go back to school. We brought them in, gave them scholarship, free books, free uniforms, and we are happy doing that. We are happy, myself and my husband, we are happy doing that. And since then, God has been helping us as a school. So giving, when we give, we shouldn't give to the people that we expect them to give back to us. Just give and then trust your heart. God knows what He is doing. This same boy that I shared his testimony just now, when he finished secondary school, we bought flight ticket for him to fly and then come back to meet us. At the airport, at the airport, there was a fee he was supposed to pay that we were not even aware of. A little token, just little, very minor, and he had no dime on him. How God stir up another traveler to assist him pay a little, I think less than 1,000 naira, very minor. Somebody's from nowhere, God stir up that person, and then she paid for him, and the child was able to fly back to meet his parents. So giving has a way of coming back to us. Like somebody described it. He said, whatsoever we do unto our neighbor is like we are saying, keep it for me. When you do good to your neighbor, you are saying, keep this goodness. When you do good to this other person, you are saying, because definitely it will come back to you. It can come back to you in good health. It can come back to you in protection. It can come back to you in cash. It can come back to you in diverse way. Diverse way. God have a way of doing it. Today, to the glory of God, I don't know how to go to the market to buy clothes, because I have so much that I didn't use a dime to buy. People have a way of, mommy, take this, because I live my life giving on to God, not expecting those people to give back to me, because God knows the treasure is in heaven. He knows how to stir up other people to meet your need. Whenever look at that day, our one of us in the class of Steele, when he shared his testimony, immediately right there you transferred 50,000 to him. I believe if Olukoya is not a giver, that cannot just happen. God has a way of visiting his people. He has a way of telling you, cry no more in times of pain. Because whatever thing we are sowing today, we are sowing into our future. I believe that so much. And I like to say once again, thank you so much for this teaching. No matter how we give, we should keep on giving. Whether it does not come back to us, someday it will come back. God he has a way of doing his things. We are doing it because we have his nature in us. I believe so much. I believe so much in that. And don't look at the takers. They should keep on taking. They should keep on taking. And then God will keep on making room for us to keep on giving.
Yes.
Because the person that had the talent of 5 talents, he made use of it and he was giving more. The one that was giving 1, he went to bury it, and even that one that was given to him was taken from him. It was taken from him. So I love giving, and it's part of my life. It's like, well, like I said before, when you take fish out of water, you have taken something terrible from him. So I believe in giving, and it all rub on my children. It all rub on my children, my husband, every one of us. One day, a child in our church whose parents were not members of our church, he had no money to pay for his exams. And we didn't even know. It just flew into our ears, and God helped us. We were able to meet the need of this boy. He was so happy. It was right there we got to know that he has no father, and then even the mother he have mentally is not well. So such a boy, the boy himself is well, and it looked as if there is no hope for him. Then suddenly hope came from somewhere. When you give, you put smile on somebody's face. You put hope in somebody's life, and definitely when you give hope to the hopeless, hope will meet you someday, not too long from now.
Amen.
Thank you once again, Bishop. We appreciate you. I love being in the class of Steele. Each time I miss, like last Friday, I miss it. I felt it. And I was so exhausted because we had a 3 days program. I was so exhausted, and I couldn't connect. That is why I was not in the class of Steele on Friday. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless you. God will keep you for us. And we'll keep on learning and learning from your table. God bless you, sir.
God bless you too, man. We love and appreciate you, dear. And please greet your husband and the family for us, please, man.
Thank you, sir.
I want to, I will confess, it is time for me to go. I have another meeting, plus I have quite a few meetings tomorrow that I have to attend to. Reverend Paul, any quick thought from you, Reverend Paul? I want to acknowledge Her Excellency Dr. Anita Davis before in the class this evening, and our Chief of Protocol, His Excellency Dr. Donald Ewers. Just want to acknowledge you in the class this evening. Reverend Paul, any thought from you?
Yeah, just a quick one. Good evening, Your Excellencies.
Good evening.
Yes. Giving is very good. But sometimes it depends on the heart with which you give. Like the Bible says in the book of Luke chapter 6, verse 38. It says, give, there is a comma, and it shall be given to you. Pressed and shaken together with men give unto your bosom. Sometimes some people give because they want people to see them. Sometimes some people give because they just want to give. And some give because they have the nature of God in them. It depends on with which heart you are given. For a child of God, it is just natural that you give to people, not because you want anything, but because God is also a giver. If you don't give, you don't receive.
Mm-hmm.
You watch those people that their hands are always clenched, or their fist is always clenched because they don't want to give anything. We call them Aradites. When the fist is clenched like that, and you put something on it, when you open it, it falls off. But when your hand is always open to give, you will also receive. In the norm, it says that givers never lack. It's only natural that one with a good heart should give, but we give with sense. Because sometimes you give yourself into trouble. But when you are a natural giver, you just give without looking around. Look at those people that are very rich. They don't just throw their money around because they want to give. No, they give sensibly. Some of them give because they have enough to give. Some give because, yes, it's only natural with them to give. Some give to someone because the person needs it. So, like I said, a child of God gives because it is good to give, and because the Bible says give. So it's only natural that we should give. But when you look at it and your motive is wrong, I will advise you not to give, because you will only be wasting whatever resources you are given. But when your motive is right and it coincides with the motive of God, the reward comes back. Those days, I don't like using myself as a sample. No, I don't. Even when I'm preaching, I don't. But I will just do this. Those days, we gave out a lot of things. The land, everything for the ministry. We received nothing. But it came to a time where we started talking about it. Then the Lord said, I saw everything you gave out for the ministry, for the kingdom. Everything will come back. And believe me, the reward came back and is still coming. Because of time, I think I'll just stop here. God bless you, my brother. God bless you, everybody.
Thank you. Amen. Thank you so very much for your contribution. I want to quickly ask Her Excellency Dr. Before, just to greet the class this evening, Dr. Anita Davis Before, Her Excellency.
Greetings to all the excellencies in the house of the class of Steele. I'm sorry for my delay in getting, but I was teaching in another part of the world, another class. But I understand from the remarks that I'm hearing that you talked about a powerful topic, the power of giving and having a giving heart and a giving spirit. And that is so critical. And when I was hearing the feedback as people were sharing, it really resonated with me, because we are in a world, as it was often several people said, that if it's not a giving of money, people somehow don't value it, and they're so mistaken, because a smile, an encouraging word, a prayer, a tool, those kinds of things in many instances are far more valuable than a dollar or a naira or whatever the currency may be. Those things, when you uplift and contribute to somebody's spirit, their mindset, their view, their dreams, those things are much more powerful in the end than some currency, which is spent up. It doesn't last, maybe unless you take it and you use it to seed something else. So what a powerful lesson, I'm sure, that you talked about giving in the spirit of giving, because we often so walk around, especially when we are experiencing some lack ourselves, we often hold so very tight to what we have, and we're scared to let it go. But when we realize that when you walk in faith and when you have a giving spirit, opportunity and resources, and sometimes currency, they will find you. But when you have that giving heart, when you have that spirit of giving, you'll never lack for anything. I greet everyone in the class of Steele. Peace and blessings, and I'll stop there.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, Dr. Before, for your contribution. It's always a pleasure to see you, and looking forward to you on Friday with great excitement. Looking forward. Thank you so much. All right, Minister Ewers, you lend your voice, and then we're gonna close this evening. Minister Ewers, and by the way, I see Bishop Comfort. Bishop Comfort, you are in my traditional colors. I love the blue and the yellow. It looks amazing. And at this hour of the night, Bishop, you look like you are still in the office. That's an unusual thing, but I'll get to you before we close. Minister Ewers, go ahead, Your Excellency.
A pleasant good evening, Your Excellence, and all the excellence in the class of Steele. Sir, I could go on all night. It's been a long evening with the class, with the spirit of giving. I am always giving, not just only in the currency or the sterling, but my time.
Yeah.
My time, my time, my time. However, just to sum it up, it definitely pays back. Whatever you give, whatever you sow, that you shall surely reap. If you sow good, you reap good. If you sow in the kingdom of God, it will reap back. And just a quick small testimony regarding giving. There's a young Sudan, a young guy from Sudan, 19. He came and worked with me as volunteer feeding the homeless. And he was studying, and I gave him a reference for his first job. I gave him reference for the second job, and I gave him reference for the big job. He works for the government, the Sudanese government now. And on 2 days ago, he texted and said, send me your email address. And he sent me I sent him my email address, and I'm wondering why on earth he's asking for my email address. Anyway, I sent him. And then he sent me a gift voucher of £100. Now, this guy is in his early 30s, works for the Sudanese government, big man now. He's also going to fly from Sudan to come and meet me in Dubai. I gave him my time. I helped him in life. And I'm only using that little one as an example. I could go on with many things. Your time and your effort for kingdom building, it always pays off from a good heart. And my one about giving, I'm a giver. Always giving, sir. So, sir, thank you very much for opening our eyes and elaborating on giving. And God was also a giver. And Jesus Christ set the example for her to be giving. And so we are disciples of Christ, so we continue to give. So heaven bless you, sir.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency. A good reminder that you always get some kind of feedback, kick back, look back, take back, get back when you are a giver. It always happens. Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Comfort, give us your word this evening in the class. What is in your heart this evening, Bishop Comfort? You have 3 lines, and I don't know which one to unmute.
Thank you, His Excellency, Bishop Dr. Mankiso. Good evening to all the excellencies and everybody in the house. In fact, when it comes to giving, I always smile because giving is the nature of God. He had one son to start with, and he gave that one son to the world without any limitations or without even looking at what we are. Then we had a whole lot of sons and daughters. So giving is right. And then in the word of God, we are all sum it up. It said giving and receiving. Anytime there's giving, there's receiving. Sometimes we don't see the receiving in a way that we expect, but it all comes all the same. Sometimes it doesn't come at once, but it will definitely come. I remember a time when my late husband passed on. Just around that time, somebody brought us some money. At that time, it was a huge money. And I looked at my children. I said, "What should we do with this money?" And so, "Mommy, let's give it to the Lord. It's harvest time." And at that time, about 4 of the girls are supposed to go to boarding house. So there were people asking me, "So what am I going to do? Are they going to continue to go to the boarding house or what?" I said, "Well, that is a matter of the Lord." So we gave that money out on the harvest day. And a day after, I had a call. Like, "What are you going to do about the children?" I said, "It's a matter of God." And then the same person said that, "I think I can take up their school fees." Now, and immediately I said, "Wow, God is not a disappointer." If I say I'll give examples, I'll give on and on. I remember I have an event which comes up every year. It's only last year and this year that we have not planned because of the COVID. What we do is that we call it Heroes of Faith. When we honor some people, we expect them to give something so that we can honor those less endowed. And there was a time we gave to a certain lady. And normally it is a surprise gift for them. It's unannounced. We invite the person to the meeting, and then at the end of it, we declare. And previously to that, what I did was, after every event that I hold, I gather the money that I get and I go and give to the less endowed. Sometimes you have a return, sometimes you don't see anything. But one thing is that what we do is because God is doing it. That is what should come into one's mind. When I give my time, it is not to the person I'm giving it to, but I'm giving it to the Lord. Other than that, we'll get hurt when we get to a point. You'll be helping somebody, and then at the end of the day, and you don't receive the returns from that person, you'll think that you have lost your time or you have given it away. But if you say that I did all because of God, God will definitely reward you. And because of time, I don't want to go on, but I want to end here by saying that giving is rewarded. It is the nature of God. We must all try and do it. And when we do it, I always say that in giving, the quantity or the quantum is not what matters. You know, the lady, I'll call her a lady because God looks at things in a different way. When Jesus Christ was in the temple, when people came and gave money, someone, a huge bundles, and there was this lady who came in, and this lady, a widow, as a matter of fact, and she dropped in some coins. And Jesus said that this woman had given everybody. So I always say that in giving, what remains is the crux of the matter. What remains shows that whether you have given all to God or you have given just a little. So on this note, I will say that long live uh, class of Steele, long live His Excellency Bishop Dr. Michael Steele. God live Her Excellency and our little Josh. I believe we will go higher and higher and higher. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Thank you so very much, Bishop Comfort. And thank you all in the class of Steele this evening. Adiola Olukoya, we appreciate you in the class. And just say hi. I'm gonna close, but I just, you know what, I don't feel comfortable if I don't allow persons to at least say hi or acknowledge. So Adiola, just greet us this evening. You are welcome to the class. It's a pleasure to have you this evening.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It's a pleasure being among the great people that God has ordained to fulfill purpose in this generation. I really want to appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I'm really blessed, with what you told us today and what everybody that said, just to say just a few things. And I really want to thank God because, giving is part of us and giving is what God expects us to do. And, just like you said, there are sometimes you give and it seems as if, we don't expect people to appreciate what we do because it's what God expects us to do. But, sometimes you'll be asking yourself, am I doing the right thing? I mean, because people around you don't support you. People around you don't really appreciate what you're doing. But sometimes you want to be discouraged, giving. But with what you've taught us today and with what we've learned today, I've learned no matter what we face or what people around us are saying, we're not doing it for them, but we're doing it for God. So you're not giving to the poor, you're giving the money to, but you're giving it to God. And just like the Bible says that, when you give to the poor, you lend unto God. And wow, for you to lend unto God, that means you're going to get more than, you give us. So I really want to appreciate you there. And I thank you very much. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you, all the excellency in the house. God bless us.
Thank you so very much for your contribution, and you and your husband continue to do well. We have great plans for Nigeria, myself and Doreen and Dr. Before and Minister Ewers. We have great plans for Nigeria, and I want you guys to be assured that you will continue to grow and advance. And as you continue to allow God to get it through you, He will get it to you. And I want you also to focus on the event that we're having in Dubai for the women in August. Just keep that on your radar because I'm going to be putting it out there for those in Nigeria and around the regions to be a part of. We're just trying to see how can we make it possible to help them. So thank you so very much for your contribution. Reverend Alex, a quick word from you and then we are closing. I think you're the last person that we have. Okay, so I think he saw that he was the last person and he jumped the ship. So it means there's no one else. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Oh, Alex, he's come back. Alex, are you with us? Okay, there is no microphone with you. All right, so I want to thank you all for being in class this evening. Apologies for the extended time, but you know how I like to make sure everybody get a chance to make their contribution. So again, thank you. Have yourself a wonderful evening. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Good night and God bless you all. Thank you so very much, Dr. Defoe, for being here. Your Excellency, Doreen, thank you. Minister Ewers, Olukoya, Bishop Comfort, Odiola, Lucy, all of you who've been in the class this evening, I want to appreciate you. And if I didn't call your name, it is because I don't want to keep saying everybody's name in the class now. So good night and God bless. Have a wonderful evening. To those who've been listening on our social media, on YouTube and on Facebook, thank you so very much for being with us in the class of Steele. We look forward to sharing with you again on Friday and on Wednesday. Come on Friday for Dr. Anita Davis Before, where she will continue to be sharing with you from her reservoir of wealth. And we look forward to receiving from her on Friday. And on Wednesday, I will be with you and we will have a wonderful time. Again, good night and God bless you all. Bye for now. Good night, everybody.